Just this one. Alhamdulillah, I believe very informative start with our mashayikh to the talk. Next, inshallah, we're going to have our Sheikh Mustafa Shibani is going to deliver a talk, as you see with the schedule, Justice for All, the Quran edition. And mashallah, the Sheikh, Ghaniyun an al-Ta'rif, we're lucky to have him here with us at Masjid Alfurqan. And he's known for his reflections on the Quran as well as his beautiful recitation. So we look forward to hearing what he has to say. فليتفضل الشيخ.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So hello everyone, welcome. I can see some people from Bolton here. Welcome, special welcome from Bolton. Anyone from another city, not Manchester? Okay, where are you from? London. Oh, that's big, special welcome. Marhaban wa sahlan. So the talk that they gave to me is about justice. So I want to start that my brother Ubaidah, may Allah forgive him, he do injustice. He did injustice. He took my time. So that's the first thing I will start from here. But I will forgive him because I'm very happy that to see these young people which inspire others. Young people, alhamdulillah, they involve in many universal competitions and they memorize all the qira'at. That's why I forgive Ubaidah absolutely. And I wish one of you, one time after this talk and interview with these young people, that you will become a big hafiz, inshallah. And I want to remind you also, before I start, that Hifdul Quran is a big achievement. However, it's not enough. After Hifdul Quran, you have to act upon the Quran. Otherwise, Quran will be hujjatul laka alayka la lak. Otherwise, Quran will go against you. Hifdul Quran is a big achievement, but it's not enough. After that, you have to act and behave according to the Quran. The title they suggested, Justice for All. I want to start to ask you a question. The word justice, does Allah mention justice in Quran? What's the word for justice in Quran? Adl. Is that any other words? Qist. Is there any other words? Huh? Mizan, mashallah. Is there any other word? Huh? Al-Haq. Many times in Quran come in the meaning of justice. Is there any other words? Quran is a bit slightly different than Adl. But there is qistas. Bil qistas al mustaqim. We have adl, we have qist, we have qistas, we have mizan, we have adl. All of these words meaning justice. And you realize justice, look at this word justice, qistas, qistas. That's why many of the mufassirin mention that qistas come from Roman, and then Arab took it and then they use it, utilize it. So qistas, justice, that is similar. Why we talk about justice? We talk about justice, number one, that to send some messages of some Muslims, they think that Islam is just about rituals. He pray, alhamdulillah, 5 times a day, fast Ramadan, go to Hajj, go to Umrah many times. But there is a problem. When he treats others, he treats them unjustly. Beginning from his family, his neighbors, his friends. And he thought that is something just little, just a minor sin. It's not a minor sin, it's one of the major sin. We talk about justice, also to remove some misconceptions. Nowadays, we talk about justice because this is one of the core principles or concepts in Islam. That Allah wa ta'ala ingrained justice in our souls. When we come to this dunya, we know the meaning of justice from very little time. You know, my daughter just 1 year and a half. And when I give other daughters something, and she look at me like this, you are unjust. She waiting for her share. If you brought a pizza and you just give every one of your children, and one of them give 2 shares, they all will look at you. What's going on here? We ingrain this from the beginning. And my daughter, 1 year and a half, she know this mobile phone belonged to me. That's belonged to her mother. That book belonged to her sister. If I take a book of my daughter just to put it in another place, oh no, no, don't do that. That's injustice for her. From the beginning. Then Allah Ta'ala named himself Adl. Then he said, I prohibited injustice on myself. Allah Almighty said. One of the ayat that affect me a lot is in Surah Al-Hadid. When Allah Ta'ala said, لَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا رُسُلَنَا بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, we send our messengers with miracles. وَأَنزَلْنَا مَعَهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْمِيزَانِ. We said mizan is one of the words, 5 words, means justice. Allah descend the books and justice. Then he said, what's the purpose of sending prophets and descending books? لِيَقُومَ النَّاسُ بِالْقِسْطِ. One of the purpose that Allah sent his prophets just to implement the justice. That's why it's something very big. That in قُلْ أَمَرَ رَبِّي بِالْقِسْطِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ. Adl and qist similar. But there is no 2 words in Quran, even similar in Arabic. In Quran, there is always a slight difference. That's the rule in Quran. In my opinion, the difference between qist and adl is that the adl is the concept, is the theory. But qist is the practical dimension, is the manifestation of the theory. Look at this ayah. وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا فَإِن بَغَتْ إِحْدَاهُمَا عَلَى الْأُخْرَى فَقَاتِلُوا الَّتِي تَبْغِي حَتَّى تَفِيءَ إِلَى أَمْرِ اللَّهِ فَإِن فَاءَتْ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا بِالْعَدْلِ وَأَقْسِطُوا. When 2 groups of Muslims, they have conflict, then try to reconciliate between them. Allah said, أَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا بِالْعَدْلِ. Reconciliate between them in adl, theory. That should take that, that should take that. Then he said, وَأَقْسِطُوا. It means implement that theory in reality. I'll give you this example. You'll never forget the difference between adl and qist. You know, qist in Arabic come from qist. It means share. If you buy a pizza, those Manchester, they love pizza here. So you'll hear a lot of examples about pizza. So if you buy a pizza and they cut it in 8 shares, every share called qist. Called what? Qist. So I'll bring it to my children and I will give every one of them qist. Share. Then one of them take a qist of another one. If he did that, he is qasit. Huwa qasata. It means he did injustice. He take a share of someone else. So he is qasit. Qasit is good or not good? Bad. وَأَمَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَكَانُوا لِجَهَنَّمَ حَطَبًا. That's qasit. Then the father now came and he wanted to return, took that share from that son and give it back to the one. Father now aqsata. He is muqsit. Why muqsit? Because he take that qist and return it back. Muqsit is good or bad? Inna Allah yuhibbul muqsitin. So that's why muqsit is something good. So qist is about practical way to implement the theory of adl. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, when you talk about, look at the significance of qist or adl. Allah said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu kunu qawwamina bil qist shuhada'a lillah. Which surah this? كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله. Are you sure? Nisa. Good. And in Ma'idah, why he say Ma'idah? Because it's similar. In Ma'idah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط. Same, he just changed the order. What's the lesson here? كونوا قوامين لله. Stand firm for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. In another ayah, كونوا قوامين بالقسط. Stand firm for justice. Can you imagine? When you stand firm for justice and stand firm for Allah, that's the same. Because justice is one of the most important things. But someone may ask, but how can be this justice? And we see a lot of tribulation around the world. That's sometimes Muslims, when they have weak iman, or some non-Muslim, they want to understand. Why? If there is justice, then why there is tribulation around the world? The answer here, just to make it simple, if you look at the life just about this world, then yes, there is injustice. But if you understand that this world is just a stage, only one stage, and you will go through different and wide stage after that in Akhirah, then you will understand what is justice, what is adl. Because we see in this dunya that some people, they oppressed others and they die and they don't go to any court. Yes, because there's another court, a divine court. Allah talk about the day of judgment. لا ظلم اليوم. That day there's no injustice. When you believe that Allah Alimun Hakim, He knows everything and He has wisdom behind everything, then you will understand what's this. That's why I encourage every one of you, when you come across every Friday with Surah Al-Kahf, try to go and watch any video, explain in details the story of Musa and Al-Khadir. Very deep story. Very deep. And he give us some understanding of the plans of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Because this is very deep knowledge. Allah gave it to us as a story. Khadir symbolize the qadar. And then this type of story is very important because time is very short. Move on to another thing, injustice. It starts from yourself, in your family. Rasulullah ﷺ emphasized a lot that be fair to your children. There's, for all parents here, or they will hear me, be fair to your children. One day, Nu'man ibn Bashir, Walid al-Nu'man, he came to Rasulullah ﷺ and said, I want to gift one of my sons a gift, and I want you to be a witness. Rasulullah ﷺ said, did you gift all of them the same? He said, no. And Rasulullah ﷺ said, Inni la ashhadu ala jawr. I can't be witness on injustice. So be fair of them. Some parents, when there is a conflict between the sibling, which is very common, then some of them come crying loudly. Oh, he start away, jump to the conclusion. He's crying loudly, it means he is victim. Just a message for all the parents. Usually those siblings are crying always, not victim. Always they are the troubled one. But so they start away, jump to the conclusion. Be fair. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is watching you. This is hurt siblings a lot and can affect them psychologically when they grow up. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ make this one of the big issues. When between spouses, but I can see many young people here, Raise your hand if you are married, and raise your hand if you are proud that you are married. Okay, few people. Then also spouses between them, fairness or justice are very important. Allah is watching you. That's why in Quran, whenever Allah Ta'ala mentioned the ayat between spouses, you will find taqwa there. That's the rule in Quran. Whenever Allah mentioned the rules of family, any conflict between spouses in Quran, in any surah, go and look for the word taqwa. Why? Because what happened between them is usually secret. There's no witnesses. Only Allah Ta'ala is the witness. So he said always, ittaqullah. Allah is watching you. Allah will judge you. You are accountable. You always mention that. And you know, the surah number 1 mentioned taqwa compared to the number of the verses of surah is Surah Al-Talaq, the divorce. Some ayat which is very common that many people now memorize is from ayat Al-Talaq. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُعْظِمْ لَهُ أَجْرًا وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ يُسْرًا. In the surah of divorce. And the surah of divorce is not about divorce. Divorce is just in the first ayah and the second of second ayah. The rest is what after divorce. Because after divorce, if you don't have taqwa, then every one of the spouses try to hurt each other. Allah said taqwa, ittaqullah. So justice also, if you are in charge in any, for example, you are a boss or you are a teacher, justice is very important. And then we come now to a very common example nowadays. That alhamdulillah, Allah blessed the people of Bilad al-Sham, Syria, that alhamdulillah they came to Damascus and they free thousands of people. They were in prisons. Tyranny. Some people, they thought that Islam is just okay with dictatorship or the tyranny. Which is, Islam is completely opposite. What's the most frequent story that Allah mentioned in the Quran? Who can tell me? Musa, no doubt. Allah mentioned Musa 134 times. But the more surprise is Allah mentioned Fir'aun in Quran 74 times. Can you imagine? Fir'aun 74 times. Fir'aun mentioned than many of righteous people in Quran. Why? Because this is symbolize the tyranny. Tyrant, which is Fir'aun, is just an example of the system of tyranny. Why this surah is very important, this story? Because it told us that Islam is opposite than tyranny completely. If anyone tries to understand something else, it means there is a lack of understanding. There is a lack of understanding. So that's why when and that's tyranny not just for Muslim. If we heard any country or nation or people, they are under oppression, then Muslims should be the first who support these people, who talk about these people who are oppressed. Allah Ta'ala said in Quran that one of the cause for Muslims to fight is for those to support those people who are under oppression, even if they are non-Muslims. وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ. Rasulullah ﷺ said, when in Jahiliyyah, when I was young, he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I attend a gathering in the house of one of the leaders of Quraysh, Abdullah ibn Jud'an, And that gathering is about, they come with the conclusion, we want to support anyone who get oppressed. Rasulullah said, that is Islam. That is Islam. So if any, don't just let this, just for what they call it activists. This is Islam, is support anyone who is under oppression. That's why we are Muslims, we should feel this. We should always talk about what is dhulm. Another also common example is poverty, which is common now in all around the world. Do you know that one of the pillars of Islam is zakah? Is to take a money, obligatory, the rich people, they have to give the poor people. If they don't, that's lack of their iman. That's one of the major sins. Subhanallah. Why? Because that's fitna. To be some people that's just in poverty, and some people, there is no, in Islam, the people will not be in the same. Because this dunya is just for a test. But what can we do? Islam then said zakat is obligatory, is not your money even. Then he encouraged us to give, to donate, to give charity. Another manifestation, just to be short, give you some points, corruption. Do you know, if any country, in Muslim country, that someone become a minister, and then all his relatives come and say, oh, congratulations. Oh, you become a minister. It means after a few months you'll become a wealthy man. How? Because he will take from the public wealth. That is called in Islam. Anyone can tell me what's the Quranic word for that? To take from the public wealth. There's a Quranic word for that. Huh? It's ghulul. Ghulul. وَمَنْ يَغْلُلْ غُلُول. It means to take, you are a minister now, okay, I can take whatever I want. Rasulullah said this is one of the major sins in Islam. Because this public wealth is for all the population. That's how Islam explained for us the significance of justice. In the end, I want to end with this example. I want to be just. I don't want to take the time of the next speaker. Nowadays, we have a problem with that. Some people, they raise a voice. Oh, look, you said Islam is justice. Okay, why then? It seems that Islam is not just between both genders. How is that? Number one, in inheritance. If a man die and he has only a son and a daughter, doesn't have wife or parents, only he left one son and one daughter. And he left £3,000. How much the daughter will take? 1,000. And the son, 2,000. So they said, this is unjust, not fair. There's a difference between justice or equity and equality. Equity, does it mean two things are same? Sometimes, when you look at the picture just from one angle, you miss the reality. Because inheritance in Islam is a full system. It depends also to your responsibility. Suppose this son and daughter, the son took that 2,000 and the daughter took that 1,000. In Islam, the son has a responsibility to take care of his sister. That's number one. So he'll spend some money upon his sister, obligatory. Number two, when that son wants to get married, Islamically, he is the one which should give the mahar, dowry, and the one who should give accommodation and give the stuff. All the things in marriage It's the responsibility of a man in Islam. So that, imagine that the mahar dowry is 2,000. So that son, he will give 2,000 to get married. And he have nothing now. But his sister, which took only 1,000, when she want to get married, she will pay nothing. Her husband will give to her 2,000. Is that example clear, guys? So the daughter took 1,000 and the son took 2,000. When the daughter want to get married, she pay nothing. She will receive money, but the son will pay the money. Then in that, should son said, that's not fair. Is that right? Islam is a full system. Don't look at inheritance only. No, there's a responsibility. That's why, because of this, Allah Almighty divided the inheritance in the Quran, not even in the Sunnah. Can you imagine that in Quran there is a half, quarter, third, two-thirds in Quran? Because Allah knows that money can cause a lot of problem. So He said, Allah knows best. That depends to the responsibilities. Another one will say, okay, I have another example. That man and woman also, wife and husband should be equal. Okay, what's the problem then? You said that equal, it means they should share everything. So for example, again, the same. Okay, what about the Islam? He said, oh, the responsibility is on the shoulder of the man. If you want then equality as you claim, that person claim, then Bismillah will divide the mahar. That would be a very, very nice idea. I will pay just half of mahar and the wife pay half of mahar. Or pay half of all the stuff and she will pay. Is that what some people want? The problem is we forget about the nature of the both genders. For example, as many researchers demonstrate that in Sweden, in Denmark, in this which is a country which is in high modern life, and they want to apply this equality in everything. For example, if a woman want to give birth, they will give her 1 year just for holiday, because she will give birth. Then they said, wait a minute, what about the men, masakin? We should give them 1 year also. Oh, mashallah, very good. Okay, then when they do some statistics, they found out that all the nursery, those who teach in nursery, more than 90% are women. Primary school women. Engineering, more than 80% men. Oh, we don't force any of them to do that. Why this then? Because of the nature of the woman and nature of the men. So when you look at justice, at equity, just like quality, no, 1-1, you will miss the reality then. If I have 2 children, and one of them, he need something for medical issue, I give him some money. Would you say, no, that's not justice, give the same money to another son? Why? He doesn't have the problem. No, but that's... So equity is not quality also. We as Muslims, we should believe that all the Islamic law, this is divine law from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. When Allah mentions something in Quran, this is something that's, even if we understand the wisdom or not, we should believe that this is the absolute wisdom. All Islamic law can narrow down in a simple word: justice. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide all of us. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala make us just in our families, in our spouses, to our parents. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala remove all the oppression from Muslim countries. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide us to the straight path. قُلُوا مَا تَسْمَعُونَ وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ وَصَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَى عَبْدِ رَسُولِهِ سَيِّدِنَا مُحَمَّدٍ. me the difference between qist and adl. Till Ubaydah come, I will give him the